Alright, people of the world, how y'all doing? So today took a banger. I missed the first one, so in future trades, if you see that I have a green sphere around my entry signal bar, that is because I missed it. If it's a yellow, it means I took it. Right? And oh my god, this thing just doesn't have a fucking stop sign, does it? It is going to the gulag. Next level would be probably like right here, and I would push it to a 4R. This looks ridiculously amazing. Um, wow. Unfortunately, we only took it for, not that, sorry. Took it for that. So, nothing crazy, nothing too exciting. Why I did this, we're going to break it down now. So, if we look back, we have stagnated here at 26,300, and we've leveled off here at 26,000. Right, so 26,300, 26,000. We've been chopping around trying to figure out, but we've made consecutive lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. But we've been kind of equaling in our lows. We broke down, right, making a lower low, lower high, right into a zone. I'm learning for myself that I cannot do orb. I'm not an orb trader. I think it makes sense to some people. It makes zero fucking sense to me. And that's cool, right? It's not my job to tell you how to trade. It's my job to tell me how to trade, and that's what matters. So, if we want to go back and a little bit more calm on a couple days ago, like I showed you, right? The idea is on the lower high, lower low. I don't even need to do that, right? We were coming down, we popped back up into demand, now back into supply, right? This was a beautiful 1, 2, 3, and I'm actually going to hold these to a point because that is what is going to work. And then from there, I fucked around with the stop loss in sense of it should have been a 50 to 100 point trade. Easily could have done it, right? And if you look here, this absolutely crushed it. It is what it is, right? We learn a lot now from our mistakes. And this was a great point, right? Look at this. Beautiful bearish engulfing at a very high point. At a lower high area, right? Nice supply kind of deal. Same thing. Part 2. If people know this in the comments, you can put it. What this pattern is. Nice bull bar, pin, or inverse hammer, and then down bar. Right? So, if you don't know what this is, please learn that pattern. It will help you. I am still learning. I'm not saying I'm a master, but that definitely was a clue, and I missed it. So I entered low. Really shitty entry. Should have entered up here. Right? Even 40-point stop. That would have been a valid ass stop. Right? Because we're still pushing into supply. This here rejects, and I'm going to go back. Start anew. Right? The reason why I say that, so I can go into a 5-minute and look. This is another beautiful same pattern. So if you go down to a 2, you see the pattern. Go to a 5, see the pattern. Now, do patterns always work? No, it does not. But what is more important is you understand the context behind the why. Why does it work, right? We've shown 1, 2, 3 times we've rejected this area. Strong bar. Not really great volume, but strong bar. Next bar, I closed underneath. My confluence was the creation of the lower high on a larger time frame. We rejected 3 times underneath a 21 moving average, targeting somewhere in here. And we can see pretty quickly our next area was at 27 or 25,700, and we just demolished right through it. So even if you wanted to, right, you could have had stops down here, and that could have been easily a 3 or 4 hour trade. I would have probably done it here, about 3 hour trade, just not because of a greedy standpoint, but you want to make sure you're not being stupid. So it's fine. We could exit out of here, and I took the same exact idea today. Okay, so pre-market we were breaking down. I'll go down to a 30. I really wanted this rejection. You can see kind of this line, not a great big area, but you can see we've held this area. We've held the area. So now this is a resistance or support area, just line This is more of an area for me. And what you notice here, obviously I don't trade pre-market, but look at that. Boom. Beautiful inverse candle, right? Risking 60 points into the zone, about 80, and then 120. Easy, easy, easy money. So, didn't take it. I'm telling you, I did not take it. So, but for me, my idea was simple. We are still in a downward trend, right? We've still proven to be downward. Lower high, lower low, started rebounding, but overall, still very weak. We had a support. If we broke below the support, we look for a retest here or here for shorts. That is where we start our trading journey. So, okay, took the break, rejected once. You could have taken it here. It was too far away from my zone. That's not going to work anymore. I liked the pullback, right? We created kind of a zone. Failed. So failed the zone, failed the 21 EMA. That part doesn't matter to me, right? That is kind of negligent. But the failure here kind of makes sense, right? Down, popped, we're rejecting, big push down, try again, we rejected. Yeah, that makes complete sense. And we came up and we came down. Once it comes up and you see it not going, because sometimes it could absolutely explode through. But once it shows that weakness and you get it maybe under here, yeah, take it. Even if you wanted to wait a little bit, you could have waited to right here to a midpoint, risking 50 points to make 100. And it worked really well. I, however, just missed my trade. And this was a beautiful level-to-level trade. So I got very pissed off. I took one trade here, the push down, because I thought, okay, well, we fucked over buyers, right, who wanted it up. Fucked them over. We'll take it low. And I just saw that it wasn't pushing how I liked the price action now. So I entered. I took out. I was like, you know what? Not worth my time in the context of it's not my strategy. If my strategy said just short everything at any time, sure, that would have been my strategy. But it's not. It's the break and retest, waiting for confirmation. These confirmations aren't just random. And here's that candle again. Boom. Pause-ish. Still a bullish bar. But stopped dead in and then huge rejection. Decent volume. Now this is where it gets a little spicy. I apologize. Doji here. If our bar would have filled upward, no, it's all right. I'm trying to just help. If the bar would have flipped up, right, big green bar, I would have taken it long, right? That would have made sense to me, right? Because that is a now, like, shooting star pattern, whatever pattern. It just shows very bullish sided sentiment, right? So when you see, actually it's right here, look, bull bar or bear bar, pin bar, even though it's black, it's still a pin bar. It's still bullish if you look at the context. Huge bull bar. That's a great reversal sign. And I thought about it, and I was like, I'm thinking about taking this. For me, it was going to be for like a 1.5. So I would have had a loser right here, risking 50 points. Yeah. And that would have sucked, right? Because the idea now, trying to give you different colors so you can see it, right? Is you're trying to push into it, but the idea is you're coming back into supply. Well, if it broke through supply and then created this pattern, right? Broke and then created that pattern, I would have absolutely targeted up here. And that would have made complete contextual sense. It did not. So I waited patiently. I watched how it reacted. Slammed through. Tried. Slammed through. Took the sell just underneath it. Yes, it's a little bit stretched, but at this point, if it comes back and it wicks me out, I actually moved my stop a little bit higher, which was cool. I moved it up to about 550 and was able to capture all of this. Once it really dumped, I moved it to a point where it made more sense. Here, as soon as we got down to here and we were starting, I moved my stop just a little bit above, about right here, like halfway through the R to R ratio. You know, I wanted to really control risk, so I did about 25 points, which was beautiful. All right, so if I took the loss, instead of it being $100, it only been 50, but I was targeting 200, so that's kind of a nice, beautiful 4-hour trade. Right, there you go. And that was the idea, essentially. You know, just trying to really become a good trader, become better at discipline. Fear definitely kicked in. I'll say that here. At the very end, I wasn't sure. I was like, dude, this looks so nice, but, you know, at the same time, you never know. And fear for me is kind of a hard one because we're here. It could easily have just been bought up and then shot back to top. Right? We can do some crazy fuckery, but we didn't. And then that was nice. It was a very straightforward price action day. And I'm loving that. I'm very happy. Now, as we get better, obviously we can encapsulate maybe a 3R trade, right? Trimming maybe at the 2R, running to stops to break even, and then trying to see if we can capture that 3R momentum. Before we go, I did not trade yesterday as that was my day of birth. Woohoo. Old as hell now. So, this looks sloppy. I won't lie. Actually, now looking at this on a 2-minute, looks extremely sloppy. Let's go to a 5-minute. Very freaking clean. Pushed up. Big rejection. We tried. Probably could have taken the short. Right? Could have taken the short. And failed. That's what I'm saying. Like, it would have failed. But this beautiful push and then pop up. Look, same thing. Beautiful pop up. Could have started longs here with 50 points underneath. Right? I would have probably, had my stop somewhere underneath this level. And then targeted for the 2R aspect. And it works. You know, I'm not saying like, oh, look at this. Everything I do just works. No, it's just understanding now, for me, what is the context. Right? You know, like I talked about the last video, this was a inverse head and shoulders, which is a beautiful reversal pattern. But in context, we're in a downtrending market. So I really want to see it build, come and retest, and if it showed bull sign, sure, bull back into here, and then into here, and then if it can have the juice to run. If it didn't, you know, I saw rejection as the higher low, and here as well. This trade really wasn't my end all be all. It's kind of sloppy, a lot of wicking throughout the day. We trended here, however, was very nice. Why? We were at a area of supply. We rejected, and then we broke through. So really, I would probably have entered here, right? Stops above there. And actually, that's a nice trade, you know, and we could take that easily for 1 to 2, which would have been right around there. Simple trade. Why? We all day held the 21. We were squeezing into a supply. We failed supply. Decent volume on this candle coming down, and then just volume picked up, showing aggressive. And look at the size. Like, obviously, this is hindsight, but that's beautiful indication of sellers were just ferociously angry about getting it to that point. Now, would it have made sense for 100 point? You could, to get out of the zone, right? And that may have made sense. So now I'm learning just pivots in the market. Where's the higher low? Where are the lower highs? Where is it in the history shown to go? And now we're extremely dumpy. This is the final line in the sand for a little bit. Oh, this was the line in the sand. I apologize. This is just a level I found. If it breaks through further, it could definitely get down to 25,200. And then that's pretty much it. I'm assuming, everything is down today. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Apple, of course, is the only fucker that's up. And that's a great confluence to have. I know Andrew, Stock Market Wolf, talks hugely about confluence. Look at that. Another break, retest, fail. Take that shit. Break, retest, fail. Take that shit. Break, retest, fail. Take that shit. Like, this is going to have to be our bread and butter. But when you're looking at this, it is not hard to see the trend of the day. If everybody except maybe one Well, what do you think's going to happen overall? That's all that matters. Great job. I'm very proud of you. To everyone watching, again, I'm still trying to get funded. I'm still doing my best. I'm super honest with this. You know, this is hard. I've been trading since 2021. And, you know, I'm doing this now kind of on my own because I've had coaches. I've had, you know, not coaches, but I've had mentors who are like, I'm getting this trade. I'm doing this trade. And I'll say, if you want to do anything right, do it your fucking self. It will be worth it in the end when you do it yourself. And it doesn't even have to be trading. If you find in the future you don't like to trade, do something else, but do it yourself. Have friends, have peers, have motivational drive, but don't let other people do the work for you. It won't mean as much. With that, I hope you all have a great day. Happy November 6th. I'll see you all next week. All right.